Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro 11 SEO channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about something I never really thought I'd cover in depth, but it's something that I feel is really important to at least understand or quantify when you're starting off on any sort of online working, and that's copyright. And more specifically, how it affects websites and how you can avoid getting into trouble with copyright, depending on where you are in your journey with SEO. Now, please take this with a grain of salt. I'm not a copyright lawyer. I'm not a lawyer in general. All of this is just how I've seen it and how I've dealt with it as both a freelancer and as an agent, and some of the things that you can take to avoid getting into trouble with copyright, especially with the onset of AI content and the rulings surrounding them that is sure to get a lot more complicated moving forward. Now, in general, when it comes to copyright, websites are the internet in general is sort of a gray area. We have what is called the DMCA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act, but it is slowly starting to show its age, and it has been showing its age for a very long time now. I'm sure if you follow some YouTubers, they'll be complaining about copyright claims that are truly just like not in any way, shape, or form realistic. You will see people constantly complaining about getting DMCA takedowns or just in general having problems with copyright. And there's a lot of reasons for that. For one, it's really difficult to prove intent when it comes to things like copyright, especially when it comes to websites. And in this video, I'll be focusing primarily on how it affects websites. Um, for example, we had a client recently who started off with this and who they found that somebody had copied their entire site, basically design and word for word for. Um, and then just throw it into an AI editor in terms of content, and then just posted it on their website as their own design. He found out he obviously wanted to take legal action. We sent the notice. They said, "Look, we'll change things up." They changed the design enough that it was no longer like 101, even though there was still a lot of content on the page that we felt was um, infringement on his works. And so they obviously went to change the content as well. And that's just one way of handling these things. Now, the way copyright in general works is that it's a lot about and behind the intent. For example, on the internet, though nobody wants to talk about it, in terms of websites, everybody steals from everybody. Good artists create, great artists steal is the common saying, and it's something that you will notice a lot as you deal with people in the space and in the general ecosystem. For example, you will find plenty of websites that take the same beats or the same sort of creative designs and ideas for themselves, and they carry over and they affect your overall perception of things. I'm sure if you've ever been to a pirate website, if you're an anime watcher, a lot of them look the same. They have a similar design, while others are a lot more different. Now, those examples are blatant copyright infringement. So in general, what copyright infringement means is that you are using, taking, or reproducing part of an artist or a creative's work without their express permission, and then posting it onto the internet or selling it in some way or form under your own. Now, this is a very muddy area of copyright. It's very difficult to prove copyright intent, and for all extents purposes, it, there's no real 100% way of doing it. But if I was going to use this client, for example, this client was obviously the subject or victim of somebody who wanted to monetize off of their design, off of their content, off of their work, and they thought they would have noticed. Now, it's unfortunate, but as you work on the internet, as you work in general in this space, you will find out a lot of things about people is that they really just want to make a quick buck as quickly as they possibly can. So they will take your entire website design beat for beat for beat, copy it over to themselves, just change up what they're doing or change up the wording a little bit through an AI editor like Quillbot or Write Cream, and then just post it themselves onto the internet to try and make money off of that. It's a really cheap, really easy, and really scummy way of doing it, but it does happen a lot more than people think and people know about. So that's just one thing to be aware of. The best ways I can say when it comes to designing a website and avoiding copyright claims in general is that while you can make use of tools like AI, please do not use the AI's works word for word for word. If you are looking at designing something on the internet, highly recommend go to a bunch of websites, see what they're talking about, read what they're saying, look at their designs, and say, how do I create an amalgamation or incorporation of all of this with my own unique flair and design? That's something that a lot of people do. That's taking inspiration from all of these different pieces and different works and then putting it into your own spin, that's completely fine. But if, for example, we were to take this template over here and recreate it word for word, design for design, everything exactly the same, I would be infringing on these people's copyright because they own it. They own the design, the quote unquote intellectual property, because they were the ones who produced it first, put it on the internet, and now I'm going and taking and copying it for myself. And that's just something that, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my words for as gospel. But please just be aware that if you are creating something out there, make sure that if it is, or you do get a DMCA notice, or you do get a takedown notice, you go and investigate why, so you can change things. Do not just copy paste AI content. It is not something that Google wants, it's something nobody wants. And in the end, you would be damaging the overall health of AI in the future by feeding it its own information once that information is scraped off of the internet. Two, um, do not copy somebody's website design beat for design beat, page for page, color for color. That is blatant copyright infringement, and you will get into trouble, and you will get into legal trouble, and you might be getting a DMC takedown. Three, if you have designed your website and you're sure and completely honest the fact that you have designed this, you have had somebody design it, you've checked it, everything to your knowledge is as good as possible, do admit and buy a DMCA token and have it installed onto your website so that if in any case that your website gets copied, designed, content, anything that's taken from your website, you have the legal right to go through the DMCA system to go and issue a DMCA takedown. Um, just because you have proof that, hey, I've registered with you, you've seen it, everything is here. Please just take a look at this. Not a topic that I like talking about too much, but I thought it would be prudent to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all tomorrow.